watching Thrifty Kaniffy. Hello everyone and welcome to Thrifty Kaniffy. So today we're doing something just a little different than normal. We're going to be looking at a Walmart knife and we're going to unpackage this thing and check it out. This knife's kind of been making the rounds amongst the knife community. And I first got wind of it from RJ's Knives and also saw a review of it by Jersey Knife Guy. And they both had some positive things to say about it and thought it was a pretty good knife for $6, which, you know, $6 it'd have to be pretty bad for it not to be good for the value. But let's look at it. Let's get, kind of dive into this knife, really get a close look at it, look at the features, see how it's marketed, some of the information on the packaging, all that sort of thing. So we're looking at an Ozark trail knife, which is a Walmart brand out of Bentonville, Arkansas. If you're not familiar with Walmart, I don't know what planet you've been living on, but it's a 7-inch pocket knife, and the Spanish translation there is just says pocket knife of 17.78 centimeters, and we're made from stainless steel. The blade is made from stainless steel, and then we have a plastic handle. What kind of plastic? We don't know. But you got a drop point blade there with the thumb stud, and the back of the packaging will actually say that this is a shaft lock. So it's an Axis style lock that Benchmade used to have the patent for, and now they've lost it, so now everyone can use it. We've got an 8-inch pivot, torque screw there, and then two 6-inch pieces of hardware here at the back, and then like cut out for the lanyard hole so that the lanyard will lay flat when you have it on its side. And let's look at the back. Again, just repeats itself here with 7-inch pocket knife, and the 3-inch stainless steel blade, 4-inch plastic handle, shaft lock, and a pocket clip. So let's take a look at that pocket clip. Just a pretty standard type pocket clip. Horn on it, it's not too bad, doesn't stick up too far, and it might be a little longer than you need for a 4-inch knife, but 4-inch handle, but doesn't seem to be too obnoxiously large. And doesn't look like it's ambidextrous either. There's no holes here to accommodate the clip on the other side, so you're stuck with it in that one side of the handle there. Looking at the more information here, we've got the OT7 7-inch pocket knife, model number 6707. So if you're confused about what it is that Walmart has, because they do have quite a few different knives in that little display that you'll find in the middle of the aisle, it is the one that's got the Axis lock or the shaft lock. So that's how you can quickly identify it. Okay, so we're going to dig right into this and give it a closer look. I'm just going to try to remove it here from the back side of the packaging. See if we can get it out of here. Alright, easy enough. We'll just toss that to the side and have a closer look. So, got this little plastic protector thing. We're just going to get rid of that. And first thing I notice here is we've got some branding on the blade there, Ozark Trail. And there's no jimping at the top, which I would have liked to have seen, but we're getting a pretty basic style knife here. The handle material is doesn't appear to be any kind of a plastic that I'm familiar with. It's just sort of your basic ABS style plastic, I would imagine. But yeah, I don't mind the color so much. That's kind of nice. A lot of times you get these cheaper style plastics that come in colors that really aren't your ordinary style coloring for knife handles. But this is sort of a dark olive drab. Maybe just grayish green. Not too bad for a color. One thing other to notice here is this pivot is a little proud. Sticks up a little bit on that side. It's not going to be super flush like you're probably going to see on more expensive knives. The swedging's pretty nice though, and I'm looking at the grind. It's got a little bit of a upward sweep in that area that's pretty typical, where it's not quite straight there near the top of the, towards the tang of the blade, the tang in there. But not too bad. It looks like it's fairly even. It's just got a little bit of a sweep to it there. And let's look at this side. Yeah, this looks pretty even actually for actually how they ground that. It looks pretty even dimensionally. Maybe a little bit thin on this side down here on this section of the blade. You can see that's a little heavier ground. But we're being really picky here, right? But that's kind of the idea. It's just like, if you're gonna get something this cheap, you want to know if it really just is a big piece of crap or not. But right now, I'd have to say, not too shabby. I'd imagine this blade steel is, well, about the cheapest blade steel that they use is a 3CR, right? So I don't imagine it's going to keep an edge very well, but hey, it'll stay sharp enough to do its tasks. And let's check out this axis lock. Now, some of the other axis locks that I've dealt with, like on some Gonzo knives, they are relatively difficult to disengage. The springs are too firm, but I don't find that to be the problem here. I just think that we're going to need to adjust the pivot and kind of give it a little tweaking, right? Which I would expect. I'd do that with pretty much any axis bar lock knife. But as it is out of the package, it's not wanting to fall shut. So we're gonna probably work on this a little bit and then see how it can improve. But right out of the package, trying to do the thumb flick, and yeah, I'm just having to roll it over at this point. But we can work on that. And off camera, I'll let you know what I did, and then we'll come back and see how much it improved. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, so we're back, and I've worked on the knife, and we'll look at exactly the action now compared before. And you can whip that thing right out of there, and it can drop right shut. So pretty impressive. The improvement was pretty immense, just with a little tweaking. I'll let you know, guys, what I did. We took this T8 and we backed that out about just over a half turn. You can see the blade still centered, so we're not causing a problem with centering, but it's not nearly as tight as it was, so that helped a lot. And then what I did was take the KPL and I put an application of it here on either side of the pivot, so you can get down into the washers on either side. And then another little thing, because whenever I would apply the shaft lock, I could hear this omega spring inside here, right? There's two springs in here. They're shaped like the letter omega in the Greek alphabet. That's why they call them that. And there's two little springs in here, and you can hear them kind of making contact with the inside of the liner there when you pull it back. So to kind of quiet it and also lubricate it a little bit, I just applied a little bit of oil right into that little space between the bar there and the handle, and it'll just kind of let it drop down in there, and then work the axis lock back and forth a few times, and kind of lubricate the pivot with a few opens and close like that. And now we got a pretty smooth action knife. I'm not saying I'm going to be perfect with it every time, but thumb flipping it, I can open it pretty easily, and it closes nice. So yeah, it's not bad. Now it's just a matter of how long, the longevity of the blade, and how well that's going to stay sharp. Probably not going to be fantastic, but I'm sure it'll take a pretty decent edge, and then probably require quite a bit of sharpening. But for $6, pretty useful little beater knife, I'd say. So yeah, I'd have to echo what others have said about the knife. The pocket clip doesn't really get in the way, or doesn't it really interfere with the grip or have a hot spot for a lefty. And let's try out the right-handed position. Maybe a little bit of a hot spot for a right-handed guy, right in this area here, if you're really gripping down on it. And again, you don't really have the option to move the clip, but I suppose you could take it off. It was too big an issue, but overall, the lock really works well. It's not like you have to really use a ton of effort to get it closed, which is nice. Just use that two-finger motion, which I use. I just kind of grip it like that, pull it into my palm, and then just let the knife drop. That's generally how I'd use these axis lock style knives. But the blade shape's pretty nice. I kind of dig the way that looks. So nice little drop point blade with some nice swedging there. Pretty nice looking blade there. But yeah, I don't know how you can complain for $6. It's definitely all Chinese made and not going to be something that those diehard American only guys want, but that's fine. We understand and appreciate the supply chain. Those of us that don't mind buying Chinese knives. And you know what? You're supporting Walmart. They're an American company, so it's not all Chinese. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this guy. Not a whole lot to talk about. The stainless liners there, and got some spacers on the back. Probably pretty easy to disassemble if you needed to do that. But I was able to oil it without taking it apart, which is nice. And I'm still fouling it a couple times, but I think it has more to do with the thumb stud position than the smoothness. I just kind of have to get used to the position of that thumb stud. It's a little higher up on the blade than I'm used to. Usually I'm closer to down here. I think this is maybe a couple millimeters moved down would have made it a little easier to open, but as it is, not too bad. It's just the geometry is a little weird. But there you have it. Ozark Trail shaft lock for $5.88. Local Walmart's probably gonna go quick. As Christmas ends, you're probably gonna not see this knife. So if you're interested, I would get out to Walmart right away or contact a friend that maybe can find one in their area. But they're out there. So hope you enjoyed the review, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell to be made aware of videos when they drop. You guys have a fantastic day today, and please do take care.